At Sierra, you'll always find apparel, footwear, and gear for 20 to 60% less than department and specialty store prices. But right now it's clearance time, so you can save even more on everything you need to get active and outside. Visit your local Sierra store today.
On WhatsApp, no one can see or hear your personal messages. Whether it's a voice call, message, or sending a password. To WhatsApp, it's all just this. So whether you're sharing the streaming password in the family chat or trading those late-night voice messages that could basically become a podcast, your personal messages stay between you, your friends, and your family. No one else. Not even us. WhatsApp. Message privately with everyone.
This is Optimal Living Daily, Midweek Check-In, 10 Mindful Questions to Ask Yourself by Antonia Collins of balancethroughsimplicity.com. And I'm Justin Malik, reading to you every day, covering happiness, productivity, self-help, minimalism, and more. And with that, let's get right to it and start optimizing your life. Midweek Check-In, 10 Mindful Questions to Ask Yourself by Antonia Collins of balancethroughsimplicity.com. However much we can plan the week ahead, sometimes life sends us off in the other direction. Stop your diary and your to-do list getting the better of you with these 10 mindful questions for your midweek check-in to nurture a healthy and positive body and mind, even when your week gets busy. When your week gets ahead of you. We all know that we can plan the week ahead in advance, have our to-do lists written and our time mapped out. We can prep all those meals, make a commitment to get up early, fit in some exercise, and spend time with our loved ones, but then life happens. The week gets ahead of us and all our best intentions get a little lost along the way. If this feels familiar, I know how you feel. And it seems that just planning our week in advance isn't enough when the pushes and pulls of modern life are doing all their pushing and pulling. Regular weekly planning. It helps to plan ahead for the week. I do this every Sunday because I have a little bit of free time where I can sit quietly and think carefully about my week ahead. You could try these things to do on Sunday for a productive week ahead. Whatever you include in your regular weekly planning, the key here is to be consistent. Make a date with yourself once a week when you're not likely to be disturbed. Grab a notebook and pen and your diary. Paper is fine, or go digital if you prefer. Map out what you're going to be doing, where you need to be, errands to run, important dates to remember, and what meals and snacks you're going to need. Do you require childcare or time off work? What about free time, fun time, and time for you? Perhaps even squeeze in a date night for yourself or both you and your partner. Getting a head start on the week will help you plan and prepare more and stress less. But sometimes life throws us a curveball and that mapped out week takes a different turn. Maybe something comes up at work, or your child is off sick from school, or the car breaks down, or the dog is ill and needs the vet. Time for yourself slips to the bottom of the priority list. You grab a chocolate bar and double espresso to keep you going because you missed your lunch break. And perhaps you're just tired and teary and need a break. That's where a midweek check-in may be just what you need. What is a midweek check-in? A midweek check-in is exactly that. It's a short little moment for you to check in with yourself during the week to see how that week is going. How are you feeling? How are your plans going? And do you need to change anything now instead of waiting until your normal weekly planning? Sometimes problems need to be addressed now so that they don't get bigger. A midweek check-in is also helpful if you're trying to meet a goal or target like personal, health, financial, and so on, and need to evaluate how you're doing. If things aren't going the way you'd like them to, then knowing what's going wrong is the first step in knowing what to change. For example, if I'm planning to eat more healthily, but my midweek check-in reveals I've actually been too tired to cook and I'm relying on microwave meals and sugary snacks, then I know that my weekly meal planning isn't working and it needs a tweak. A midweek check-in doesn't have to take long. Here are 10 mindful questions you might like to use for your own midweek check-in. How do you feel today? Are you happy, content, at ease? Have you chosen healthy food and drink options to nourish your body? Have you been getting enough sleep and rest? What have you been doing to look after your mind? Has anything gone wrong this week or not gone as planned? What has made you feel happy and grateful this week? What are you looking forward to doing this week? Who have you enjoyed chatting with or being with this week? What have you enjoyed learning about this week? And what would you like to achieve this week? Choose a quiet time during the week to mull over your responses to these questions. You could write them down in your notebook or just make a mental note of anything you want to do or change. And this check-in doesn't have to be time-consuming or yet another thing for your to-do list. It could just be some questions to reflect on while you're commuting to work, sitting in a traffic jam, or walking back from the school run. You just listened to the post titled Midweek Check-In, 10 Mindful Questions to Ask Yourself by Antonia Collins of balancethroughsimplicity.com. I'll be right back with my commentary.
With the Venmo debit card, you can Venmo everything. Your favorite band's merch? You can Venmo this. Or their next show? You can Venmo that. Visit venmo.me/debit to learn more. The Venmo MasterCard is issued by the Bancorp Bank N.A. pursuant to license by MasterCard International Incorporated. Card may be used everywhere MasterCard is accepted. Venmo purchase restrictions apply.
After Zoomies at the dog park, it's time for Drive Up at Target. In goes a big bag of kibble and one squeaky chicken toy for the good boy. Drive Up that's ready when you are. Only in the Target app. Just tap Target.
Thank you to Antonia. I have to admit, I'm not much of a planner myself. I've never been the type to map out my whole week on a Sunday. I tend to be a bit more spontaneous. So the idea of a formal midweek check-in on my plan isn't really something I put into practice. But what I really like about this is the idea of just checking in with yourself. You don't have to be a big planner to get the benefit of that. I've mentioned this before. It's something I do for a couple of minutes every morning. It's not about checking on a plan, but just asking, how am I feeling today? Physically, emotionally, and intellectually. It's that same idea of taking a moment to just see where you're at before the day gets away from you. And I think it has the same benefit she's talking about. It lets you make those little adjustments. Maybe you realize you didn't sleep well, so you decide to take it easier that day. Or maybe you wake up feeling great and decide to tackle something bigger. So even if you're not a big planner like me, I think the real takeaway here is just the importance of pausing and listening to yourself whenever that works for you. It's good stuff to think about. Thank you again to Antonia, and thank you for being here and listening every day and learning along with me. Have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you tomorrow, where your optimal life awaits.